All right, so we're going to move into the mailbag segment of You Don't Know Ball 46. If you want to be in the mailbag, just leave a comment on our videos on any of the TikToks. We take from TikTok because we can respond directly to the comment on the app. So if you want to, leave a comment for us to get answered, we'll do it. If you leave it and say YDKB Mailbag, we'll be sure to try to look out for that and respond to those. We're just picking random comments at this point. So, this comment is from Roundup Sports. It's regarding the Justin Herbert extension, about how I said basically, if you're up 27-0, you need to score 1 touchdown and a half to secure the game. And if you're getting paid better than the best quarterback in football, that needs to be a necessity. So Roundup Sports makes a good point. It's a fair point. It is a fair point, but it's wrong. I'm sorry, but it's just wrong. He said, did we forget Mahomes went TD-less twice in the second half against the Bengals? That's fair.
I'll say objectively he's not wrong.
Objectively fair. But did we forget that Mahomes has 2 Super Bowls? Let's be real here. Mahomes has more Super Bowls than Justin Herbert has playoff wins. Okay, in the playoffs, Mahomes has 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 7 picks, and has a record of 11-3. Justin Herbert has 1 touchdown, 1 pick, no wins, and 273 yards. Come on. Justin Herbert, Mahomes, maybe he didn't score a touchdown twice. But guess what? He won 2 Super Bowls. So I don't want to hear it. Mahomes, the team he played with this year is not the roster of what. Yes, they have Chris Jones. Yes, they have Travis Kelce. Yes, they have Pat Mahomes. Who else is Mahomes throwing to? Come on. Herbert is throwing to Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnston this year, and they have Austin Eckler. And I get at the end of the day, the O-line for the Chargers is not that great. The coaching is not that great. But at the end of the day, and I understand there's injuries to the receiving core, but at the end of the day, who the hell was Mahomes throwing to? If you're really that guy, the highest paid quarterback in the league, you have to do something. And to not score a single point, I don't give a fuck if the kicker didn't. The kicker, how far was that field goal that he missed? Because it wasn't a chip shot.
Do you want me to fact check real quick? Hold on.
Let's see. Here,
let me fill you in some time for a second real quick while you're looking this up, because this is what I've been cheesing up to say, because you're gonna think it's hilarious too, because it's very true. And again, like I'm saying, what's their name? Who left the comment? Was it you said?
Roundup Sports.
Roundup Sports. Look, I like it. You said very fair comment, all that. But the truth of the matter is also, not only do we forget Mahomes has 2 Super Bowls, did we forget that, in my opinion, there's a huge difference between the proven championship caliber defense of the Bengals and then the defense of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars was actually a pretty bad defense.
I was saying, am I crazy, or is there a huge difference between the 2 pedigrees of the defense in today? If you at the time that the games were played last year, right? I mean, that's all I'm trying to, that's where I think my biggest thing is.
No, and I think that's honestly
would Mahomes have done that against the Jags defense, right? That's really what I'm going to ask.
Yeah, so he missed a 40-yard attempt, which he should have made. He really should have made, but at the end of the day, he didn't. And if they got closer, maybe. But at the end of the day, it's just the Jaguars defense, that's a big thing that people talk about this offseason, is they really didn't address the defense. So it's just the Bengals defense was really, really good. So it's just, bro, you're comparing that's just a bad comparison. Your comment is fair, but at the end of the day, he has more Super Bowl wins than Justin Herbert has playoff wins.
This is some type of logical fallacy. I don't know the name, but there's a name for this. It's got to be a logical fallacy, bro.
Yeah, I don't really know what to tell you, dude. Until Herbert wins a playoff game, don't talk to me, bro. Don't try to make it seem like he had no fault in this, bro. Justin Herbert should have got them a touchdown. Yeah, Mahomes did. Mahomes screwed up. Sorry. Let me just put my 2 rings on. Sorry, I didn't score.
See, and that's the thing is, it's all about trends. If the trend was Mahomes doing that constantly, it would be okay. And he did it again. But we know, okay. And again, you know what? They win the games. It really does matter. It does. And the defenses, my biggest thing was the defense difference.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bro, I'm glad you brought that up, because I did not even that was not even something I was thinking about. So we're going to go into the next comment. This one is going to be kind of lengthy, because I did a lot of research, because this is a point that like I go back and forth with all the time with people. So Brian K, shout out to him because he inspired all this research I did. He said Jimmy G also went 5-0 when the 49ers got him. Don't count on Purdy. Lance has more upside, which I believe, me and Dobbs both believe, and it's something I've been saying for a long time. I wasn't really a Lance believer, but the more I looked into it, like he really hasn't had an opportunity to succeed. So, okay. So Jimmy Garoppolo in those 5 games that he started for the 49ers, he threw for 1,500 yards, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 260 yards per game, and 67 completion percentage. Okay, this is in 2017. Okay, 2022, Brock Purdy goes 6-0. Sorry. Brock Purdy goes 6-0, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 218 yards per game. Their completion percentage is basically the same. Jimmy was better by 0.3. So, yeah, Purdy was throwing more touchdowns and had 1 less interception, but was throwing less per game in terms of yardage. And something I really want to point out, okay? So, in 2017, Jimmy Garoppolo, their defense was the 8th overall defense. In 2022, according to Pro Football Reference, the San Francisco 49ers defense was 1st overall. Okay, I'm going to read you the starters that Brock Purdy had this year. At running back, he had CMC. At wide receiver, he had Deebo Samuel. At the other wide receiver, he had Brandon Ayuk. And at tight end, he had George Kittle. This is what Jimmy G was working with. Carlos Hyde at running back, Pierre Garçon at receiver. I like Pierre Garçon. The other receiver was Marquise Goodwin, and the tight end was Garrett Selleck. Please tell me who you think had a better core of offensive weapons to go 5 or 6-0. Please tell me who had a better defense to go 5 or 6-0. I have no problem with Brock Purdy. I think he can play in the league, but people think he's the second coming of Brady, and it is getting ridiculous. I saw a comment the other day that said Purdy has proved that he can be top 15. Where has he proved that? Where has he proved it? Please tell me, bro. Like, this is so crazy, bro. Like, if you look at the stats, it's so similar, and I can't believe people are already like, yep, let's get rid of our 1st round pick that we spent 3 firsts to go get. The 7th rounder, he's our savior. He's our savior.
No, and okay, so there's so many things to address in this one, but like just real quick, what I want to say is like the main thing comes to my mind. You say that 218 yards per game, and you said, so put that in tangent with the fact that you had the best defense in the league, you can get a bunch of possessions, right? So this is with getting a bunch of time to hold the ball. It's like clearly Brock Purdy doesn't move the ball at the clip that other quarterbacks in the league do. Can he make a good read? Sure. When the O-line does their job and everything's working really well, and he has all pro receivers and tight ends to the football too, hell yeah, because he's proven that. Yeah, but can Purdy be a pro quarterback like you're saying? Absolutely. There's no doubt Brock Purdy can be an NFL quarterback. But the top 15, he's the guy for sure. It's literally like, this is the real slow the roll thing. And this goes back to the whole thing where my rants earlier, this might even, I don't know if this was off camera, on camera.
Yeah.
But where it was like, things are shifting where it's like the teams that build the team are the ones where they have the success. But then, like you're saying, where you get up to the bowl, it's like, do you trust that guy in the bowl? This is just like literally another example of that. Like, yeah, the Niners have everything else built. So yeah, they're going to be able to win games in the regular season. You're going to be able to go maybe win a playoff game. But it's like, is Brock the guy that's going to lead you to the promised land? Again, back to the whole thing. It's like, that's where that's where the clash of the arguments meet, is where do you believe in that or not? Like,
and I guess my thing is too, like the main argument with these Niners fans is like, oh, Jimmy G wasn't the guy to get us over the hump. Why? Because he missed a throw? Brock Purdy has missed throws already. Like, you're replacing him with the same guy, just younger. In my opinion, like, I think Brock Purdy can be a little bit better than Jimmy G, but not to the point where you're like beating out like the other like you're not beating like a top two, like if you're looking at the quarterback rankings, right? Like the tier 2 quarterback rankings, if you split that tier 2 in half, anybody above you're not beating in a shootout. I'm sorry, you're just not.
No, yeah, 100%.
Like, man, I don't know, man. Like, these 49ers fans are getting ridiculous. Like, bro, if you look at these cores side by side of offensive weapons, Jimmy G did way more with did the same with way less. Way less, bro. Like,
it's very interesting. That was great research
man.
You did too, bro.
I don't know. But yeah, those are my TikTok comments I'll get to this week.
I'd say there were 2 really good ones.
Yeah.
So it works perfectly.
Yeah. Hopefully, Brian K. I appreciate you. Thank you for leaving that comment because, bro, I've been trying to tell these guys that Purdy is just not everything they make him out to be.
That is crazy. And it was a great discussion. All right, so I'll get on to some of mine here, bro. All right, so for the first comment I got here from LA Rams superfan, great handle. Straight to the point.
Yeah.
What's going on, bro? So you said Kupp is a Triple Crown winner, Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl MVP, and champion. He's on a whole other level than Michael Thomas. Now, let me be clear. Objectively, what you said is true. I mean, from a statistical point of view and the accolade point of view, yes, that is true. But again, we dive deep into things. And again, let me be clear. I'm not even trying to say like one is better than the other. I'm really not. The main thing I really have been trying to get across, truly the whole point of why I even said that, was just that we were literally robbed as NFL fans of the two best receivers talent-wise that we've had in our generation. When you combine like smarts for the game, route running, catching ability, like Cooper Kupp and Michael Thomas really were those two guys. We never got to see them at their peak for more than a year or two, depending how you want to look at that. But
right.
Yeah, like more than a year or two. At their fullest peak, I mean, 100% no. So, and again, Hunter was nice enough, and you did some amazing research for me too, bro, where he just went in and he wrote a comment on someone who left a comment on our YouTube. Well, this basically breaks down, though, how similar in a way that they are. So hear me out. So we got MT, and so Michael Thomas has 4 1,000-yard seasons. Kupp has 2 1,000-yard seasons. Michael Thomas has 4 100-plus catch seasons. Kupp has 3 100-plus catch seasons. Since 2016, Kupp's rookie season. Hold on. Since 2016. All right. So hold on. I'm mixing this up. So, all right. So since 2016, and then we have in parentheses, Kupp's rookie season was 2017, but Thomas missed a whole season, so they've played an equal amount of seasons. So, follow on that because that's an important point. So Michael Thomas with the 73 games played, 65 games started, 6,121 yards, 526 receptions, 35 touchdowns. Then you have Cooper Kupp with 80 games played, 66 games started, so one more game started than Michael Thomas, 6,323 yards, 508 receptions, and then 46 touchdowns. Again, just incredibly similar players. And I want to be like, I'm not trying to say any of them is better than the other. The point is just they're both legendary players, and also, namely, like the whole thing about when the Saints where the whole thing with the pass interference happened. Yeah, the Saints and Rams kind of have like a history together here. But the point is, you could look at it where it's like, okay, that was Michael Thomas's chance at the Super Bowl, really, because now we know how the things have went with his health. Michael Thomas, yeah, potentially could he be on a roster that has a chance at Super Bowl? For sure. But it's like, as of right now, you don't know where you see that happening. And you get my point. That was definitely probably his best chance as we see the trajectory now. So again, and the real thing, he didn't win the Triple Crown because he couldn't lead league in touchdowns that year, because the big thing about Kupp and I would say Michael Thomas that are the big difference between their two greatest seasons was you had OBJ when Kupp was balling out going crazy, and you can't double team really Kupp in that and the red zone and the end zone as much because you have to worry about OBJ. The Saints didn't have that same like OBJ level threat, and not even close. So I think that's just kind of where the touchdown numbers differentiate, and in those legendary seasons. But other than that, like two very similar players. Maybe not from a speed or anything like necessarily even play style perspective, but the way they dominated games, absolutely.
Yeah, here's my thing, bro, is like, I personally, if Michael Thomas stayed healthy, I honestly believe he would have been the better player. But it's impossible to like really say, especially because they are so similar at this point, that it's just like, bro, they're both great, but the way that Cooper Kupp's career is trending, like, he might be the next guy, like, where he just can't stay healthy and everything like that.
Unfortunately, it looks very much almost likely so. And that's the problem is obviously nobody wants it to be that way. But when we look at the history we've seen, when the injuries start adding up, very rarely does it just like, the biology of yourself just completely like redo itself and you can just start, it doesn't happen rarely. We've seen, sure, with like, I'm sure a lot of things happen perfectly behind the scenes with like surgeries and everything else.
Yeah.
It's like, is it possible? Yeah. But is it likely? No. And that's where this whole discussion came from. So comes full circle. Yeah.
What's your next comment, bro? What do you got?
So I'm going to narrow it down, bro, because again, I chose a couple here but I feel like some of them might not have even been where I can generate much discussion. I'll tell you though.
I might have another comment, bro. Jake Emmerich is texting me. He said, you watching the Johnny Football Untold on Netflix? He texted me about Hard Knocks last night, but he said, tell me which TikTok I need to comment on to get on the show. Not kidding. He just sent me one, so go ahead and I'll go after.
That is hilarious, bro. All right, so I think the one I'm going to go with next because this is a good one. And actually, because I didn't even really think about it too long, I wanted to give you guys my live thoughts on this one. So it says, and then in this case, where I'm going to say it's referencing Colt Kmet. So, and this comment's from Jacob Stewart. What's going on, bro? It says he's a top 5 tight end. So Colt Kmet. Kittle, Andrews, Hockenson, Goddard, and then Kmet. Kelsey is a receiver. Okay. So again, if you want to look at it from that perspective, I guess, fine. But again, my thing is I just want to look at all the tight ends in the league and say, okay, let me see if I even agree with that, right? Because it's like, I just want to take a look here. If we take a look at all tight ends in the league, because I think you're forgetting about a few guys. So I just want to be clear, you got a good list there. But again, now hold on. You're forgetting. Freiermuth's really coming on, right? Young guy really coming on. Okay. And then we got Njoku, Hockenson, Kyle Pitts, Darren Waller. My main point with this really at the end of the day was I love Cole Kmet. I was gassing him. Cole Kmet, great contract, great tight end. But I think maybe calling him a top 5 tight end already is maybe pushing it just a little bit. You know what I mean? Because again, we know Cole Kmet, great numbers. I love the rise. And I think, again, he's on pace for great projection this year. Could this statement come true this year? Like, absolutely, though. I just say as of right now, I just don't think he's a top 5 tight end.
Pat Freiermuth?
No. Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet? Yeah.
I'm saying like Freiermuth's one of the guys that you could potentially put above him again. And he'd be more at the bottom of it. I'm saying you could do guys like Waller. There's a lot of guys where you could.
Yeah, I don't think Cole Kmet is a top 5 tight end. Here's the thing with Cole Kmet. He is actually a pretty good blocker. And that's not going to move you up the tight end list. Because when most people think of tight ends, they're thinking about receiving tight ends like, TJ Hockenson, who's not a bad blocker, Travis Kelsey, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, and then it kind of gets to like, Dallas Goedert and stuff like that. So Cole Kmet is in my opinion, a top 15 tight end. I think he's easily top 15 tight end. I think he can creep into that 6 to 7 range. Not maybe in 2 years he could be like 5. I just don't ever see him being like a 1, 2, 3, or 4 even.
Bro, we feel the exact same way. It's 100% because he can creep into that top 5, 7, 8. Totally in the top 10. But 5, well, hold on. It's like slow down a little bit.
I forgot about Kittle. I completely forgot about Kittle. But Kittle just, yeah.
Oh my God. Kittle's been in that injury realm for a little while now. But yeah, when Kittle's out there, we know. I mean, Kittle, again, it's just, there's so many. That's kind of, I guess, the point more than anything.
Yeah. But shit, yeah. I don't know if he can be a top 5 tight end. So should I do Jake's comment real quick?
Yeah, let's throw it in.
All right, let's go, Jake. He goes.
What did Jake cook up?
He goes, longtime listener, first time commenter. Hard Knocks makes me a lot more nervous about the lessons Aaron Rodgers passed down to Love. Is Love underrated? Yes, he is. I'm a Bears fan. Yes, he is. He's good. He's a first round pick. He's good. He sat behind a Hall of Fame quarterback for 4 years. He's good. Like, you may not see it right away, but a lot of people want to hate on Jordan Love are either Aaron Rodgers haters, Packers haters, just miserable. Listen, I don't want to deal with another fucking Aaron Rodgers or Hall of Fame quarterback on the Packers. I really don't. But to just write off Jordan Love and say that he's not going to be good, dude was taken in the first round for a reason. Like, he will be okay. Where he'll struggle is they don't have a proven number one. Christian Watson has a lot of potential, but like, he was playing with the Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, he's going to throw him open and everything. And I'm not saying Love can't do that, but it's going to take some time to develop. The O-line is getting a little bit older. It's not horrible. But at the end of the day, like, I really feel like their defense is going to be the ones keeping them in games this year. Jordan Love could develop into a really good quarterback, but in my opinion, he doesn't have like a whole ton of time to do that, in my opinion. Like, I think as long as he shows progress, the Packers will keep him around. But Jordan Love, in my opinion, like, from a just like a base standpoint, he's good enough to compete for a starting job and like be the Packers quarterback.
Absolutely. And I've gassed him before. I'll take an opportunity to gas him again. I loved him coming out of college. My thing, bro, like, I'm on the Jordan Love train. I was since day one. And when he went to the Packers, actually more than anything, to me, really solidified, like, this was the best case scenario. 1,000%. The best case was to really be forced to sit for a multitude of seasons.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened. And I love it for him. And because, again, I loved his skills coming out, but it was very much on that, it tinkered towards like he has all the tools, but if we throw him out right now into the sandbox, it will not. He's just not going to be able to go out. The bigger kids are going to bully him out the sandbox. You know, like that's exactly how he was. Like, but now he grew up a little bit. You know, he can push the other kids out the sandbox. I think, to answer the question directly, Jordan Love is being critically slept on, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just like want to write him off.
And a lot of the throws he was even making last year when he got reps, bro, really crisp, really good footwork, really good stuff, like really good stuff. And so that's I'm not even just taking it from what I know before. I'm taking like literally the leaps that I saw when he made in-game reps from last year, comparing it to his old Utah State film, where you're like, all right, look, that footwork looks a lot nicer. That throwing motion looks a lot nicer. And he's still the same quarterback. I love it. You know, I know you guys don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear it, but
it's like,
it's a reality, bro. Like I can't deny
it.
And like, if he shows progress, like at the end of the day, bro, I mean, like as long as the Bears beat him, I don't care.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
We know the Bears on the, again, as far as for trajectories, you know how I feel. I know how you feel. They're very close, but yeah, the Bears have like more pieces per se. The Packers have bigger pieces. You guys have more little young stud pieces. Like it's kind of like how I look at it.
100%. But I mean, unless you have any more comments, that's it from me.
I don't think I have any more that were, you know, too big. But I'll address one more just because it I'm trying to think like a funny analogy or the word here. It just really caught my attention because I guess per se, not even per se, it's just it potentially could happen. So this dude, Aaron with a emoji A for the first day. What's going on, Aaron? What's going on, bro? This says, in reference to the Chase Young trade, one of the Chase Young trade talks, it said Atlanta is a possibility. Got me thinking, would really not like that, but that'd be kind of terrifying. And you talk about teams where, like I'm talking about taking a shot. Hey, let's really go all in, balls to the wall. You know, this is what wins championships. That would be kind of a concerning spot for him to land for a lot of people because we know they need pass rush, and he could step right in and just, I don't know, light things up if he can come back healthy, as he's saying he is.
Chase Young would be nasty on the Falcons. It would be really cool to see. Like, I think he would look cool in a Falcons jersey, and I don't know. That team is like I like the Falcons. It's like a cool team.
To you, the Falcons are it's like how it's like the Packers and like you can talk about them and not feel like shit, and it's so funny.
Yeah, no, it's that would be interesting, bro. I mean, he's young. Like I really think he just needs to go to the right situation. And like the Falcons are, I mean, like they drafted Bijan at 7, so I mean they're definitely open to like making moves like that. So that would be a very interesting spot. If they could go get Kyler after this year and get Chase Young, that team is a contender in the NFC.
That's Falcons' best case. I mean, if I told you tomorrow, you know, and I know they just signed him. I know he is in and out productive. He's one of those guys that has one snap that's horrendous and then one really productive snap. You know, Bud Dupree. But if I told you could replace Bud Dupree tomorrow with Chase Young, I'm sure the Falcons fans would be at the, you know, wherever they got to be to make it happen, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's food for thought. Shouts to Aaron.
Yeah, shout out Aaron. That's an interest. I never heard Chase Young to the Falcons.
He's thinking outside the box, bro. Hold up.
Yeah,
That's
literally. It would help that defense a lot.
Absolutely would.
Yeah.
And we appreciate all your guys' comments. Again, you know, we're seeing more and more comments. The engagement's been really good. We really appreciate y'all, man. Let's keep it going. We love responding to the comments. We love having you around. And that's the main thing, man. We really do. I love having y'all around, man. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, thank you guys. Leave more comments. If you want to be specifically mentioned on the show, just put YDKB Mailbag at the end of your comment. We'll try to get to it.
Try to hashtag it too, because then it's much easier to see it in the comments.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.